Hey, welcome back to the channel, y'all. Tonight I want to talk about. Wait, welcome back to the channel. And if you're new, welcome. My name is Zach. This is my channel. All the content that's posted here is meant to be a beacon or words of encouragement for anybody that might need them at a time in their life that they might be struggling, regardless of what caused it or how you got there. Let's get right into this. So, tonight I want to actually share about something I read, and it's about perspective on how we look at the world we interact with. And I talk a lot about perspective, and I try to keep a positive perspective on everything. Nothing is intentionally or maliciously freely out in the world there to have a negative impact on you as being your takeaway. I try not to look at things like that. Everything has potential in it. Anything can be turned into a learning opportunity, a growth opportunity for yourselves. And what I'd like to read, I'll share on afterwards. But it says the system is designed to drain and control souls through unaligned egos that are constantly influencing and guiding towards selfish and inauthentic actions. It requires extreme bravery and awareness to separate yourself from the majority that are trapped in those toxic and unconscious circles. And so, instead of constantly shrinking, fitting in, sabotaging, and wasting your energy and potential, you embody and walk with it unapologetically. Anything else is a pathway to meaningless misery that so many are trying to cover up and escape through distractions and addictions, but their presence always speaks for itself. They are living within constant inner conflict, forever drained, underdeveloped, and malfunctioning. Now, there's validity to some of the things that are pointed out here as far as the position you can find yourself stuck in when you see everything as an obstacle with no purpose, or that it's intended to have a negative impact on you. Although there's good points in this, the issues that I feel for me and may connect with other folks is that this requires you to look at the world through a lens that's projecting negativity onto it. You don't know if any of those things are intentionally there to drain you and control you. Every situation that we're granted is not there to drain us. Nothing is there to cause us damage or harm. Yes, people can inflict harm upon us, but that's free will. But all the situations we find ourselves in that are taxing on our energy level or feel like it's pulling us backward into something that we've healed from or we've changed in our behavior or that it's sticking us into a negative thought pattern, all of those things are just lessons. I say that in a lot of these videos that we're shown lessons for them to be learned from, not for them to impact us negatively and drain energy from us or to control our soul. It may feel like that, but again, it feels like that because we tell ourselves, we tell each other that's what's happening. If you can shift that perspective for yourself into something of gratitude and appreciation, that you're given limitless amounts, not limitless, I'm sorry, you're given an unlimited quantity of opportunities to grow and evolve in life. As long as you are present in this vessel and experiencing the world that we're a part of, you're granted opportunities that will test your evolution, your growth. And you're meant to take away something new about yourself from that. Nothing that happens to you is meant to dim your light or take something away from you. But the things that are granted to us are meant to be learning experiences. If you look at them as learning experiences, growth opportunities for yourself, and not as negative situations that will shackle your soul down to a cell that is not meant to be in, you won't see the world negatively. You can still be pursuing growth and change and hinder that if you start to muddy the lens you're looking through by considering external things negative without any confirmation of that. Excuse me. Perspective shift is a huge part of any spiritual growth, any healing. Your perspective on what you take in, what's presented to you, your perspective, which is you processing through the input, the information that you get, running it through your brain, and then putting your projection out into the world as your answer, your response, how you emotionally respond to that situation. You create your projection of if that situation is negative or not. But that is growth spiritually. You're observing what you can take away from it. You're observing the situation and you are reflecting upon it. But then you're also holding yourself back a little bit more than you can grow because you're still seeing the negative in it. The more that you see that negative, the more that you leave it within the lens of how you look at the world while trying to pursue your path to enlightenment or freedom, just freedom, through your awakening. The more you carry those little bits of negativity, the more you'll find them. And the more that you'll find yourself back in those situations. Because you're creating that negativity even though you're trying to bring about growth and change. Anything that's granted to you along your path, before you label it or process it through your brain as a negative thing, instead, ask yourself, how can I grow from this? What do I get to learn about myself in this situation? You then uncage yourself. You see the potential in the situation. You see your capability and your own potential. And then you accept the situation with appreciation and gratitude. And you do what you have to do. And you evolve. This reminds me of a movie, and I won't get too sidetracked. This reminds me of a really good movie called Defending Your Life with Albert Brooks and Meryl Streep. The whole premise of the movie is that when you die, instead of going to the afterlife or going back to Earth, you're put on trial, essentially. I've talked about this movie before. But you could apply the perspective of what's in the reading at the beginning of this video to none of those things that you end up being put on trial for in that movie. All the things that Albert Brooks did wrong or incorrectly because he didn't nurture his courage, his bravery. He didn't speak his voice. All those things that you can perceive negatively, they weren't meant for you to experience them that way. They were granted to you as an opportunity to embrace your own power, to embrace your own capability. Other people may live in the same world and never see it the same way that you do, and they may be stuck in that cycle, but they just may not have chosen to wake up and see it differently. But when you do, try not to hang on to those small pieces of negativity that have a really good way of creeping back in to the new things we're doing. I hope that helped. I hope somebody needed to hear that. I hope that helps shift somebody's perspective to accept new situations and old situations in new forms as growth opportunities and not anything negative. Have a good night, y'all. I'll talk to you later.